Hello again, this is Annette from Grandma's Home Place, and I'm out in the garden today, and it's a cold, kind of windy day. It is just the 1st of March. It's supposed to be windy in March. But I'm out in my garden that I worked last year on to build raised beds, and I put rock down and did all the work. I was able to plant some, but not a lot of vegetables for last year. So I'm excited this year to get to plant more. But today I am out here to harvest something that I planted back. It might have been just a day or two before Hurricane Helene came through. And what it is collards. So today I'm going to harvest collards, but you're going to laugh at them when you see them because they're very tiny. The leaves are little. They are growing, but before long it'll get hot. But I'm going to not harvest all of them. I'm just going to get a few of them. But I wanted some for dinner tonight. And so the beauty of these is they're very young, very tender. They don't take very long to cook. And so I'm excited about picking some of them. I'll show you my patch. So this is my little collard patch. As you can see, the leaves are, and it might be from your angle that the leaves look bigger, but really they're very tiny. I'm going to pick one and show you. This is the size of what I will be harvesting, but gosh, they're so tender. I'm just going to go through and harvest out enough for me to have for dinner. Collards are so healthy for us. It's that leafy green vegetable that we so much need. Serving of collards for one. So we got our collards from the garden. I'm excited. They're little tiny leaves. You usually see a whole lot bigger leaf. Usually the collard leaves are about this tall. These are very young, very tender, but I've had them before at this size and they're good. You can eat them even when they're little. They don't have to be big, gigantic leaves. So I got a colander, and I'm just going to put the collards in this colander. There are no chemicals at all on these. They have been sprayed for nothing. So all I really have to do is just rinse them. So I'm just going to turn the cold water on. I don't even think there's any bugs on them. Could be. Maybe that's why I'm rinsing. But just to make sure. And these leaves are so tiny. Like really, they're just not that big. I'm not going to even cut these. There's no big stems. I mean, that's the biggest stem that's on one. And so I'm not going to even stress over that. I don't generally like the big fat stems that are on collards, but these are very tiny. All right, I think that's all the rinsing they need. And then I've got a pot right here. I'm just going to put them over in my little pot. All right, put water. I'm going to put water. I'm going to almost fill the pot up with water. I'm going to for sure cover them. It's a pretty full pot. So let's go over to the stove. All righty. Got them on the stove. I'm going to turn it on about a number 2, just with a low flame. All right, and then I'm going to season with salt. They don't need a whole lot of salt, but oh, I don't know, maybe a teaspoon or so to try to stay healthy. I'm just going to add olive oil, and I'm just going to drizzle. Whew, that might even be too much. Just, I don't know, a tablespoon or so of olive oil is all I'm going to do for them. And then I'm just going to kind of push the salt and the oil down in the water. And then you just cook them to where they're as tender as you want it. I'm going to cook them low, probably an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, and then just test them. You can taste one. I mean, you can eat the things raw, but I'll test them in about an hour and see if they're as tender as I like for them to be. And that's all I do. And so tonight, I think my dinner is going to be collards, fresh out of the garden, and salmon patties. And I will also show you how I make salmon patties. Let's finish up this dinner. Now, we are going to make salmon patties. I'm going to just keep mine simple because I kind of like the taste of salmon. So what I'm going to use is, it's chicken of the sea, and it's pink chicken of Alaskan wild caught Alaskan pink salmon. And I found this in my grocery store and was kind of excited about it because it's about this. It is the size of a tuna can, and so for me, and this probably would feed 2 people. It's just going to make just the right amount of salmon patties. We're going to get right to it, and I'm going to show you what I do. I've already opened one of the cans of salmon, and I drained the water off. So I'm just going to put that in my little bowl here to mix. All right, and then I think before we do anything else, I am going to turn on my, I have my, here we are using our iron skillets. So I'm going to turn on my and I'm going to turn it with my iron skillets no more than a number 2 on my temperature gauge, because an iron skillet also holds the heat very well, and you don't want to cook it on a really high temperature. But the important thing is get your skillet hot before you put your food in there. So while we mix the rest of it up, we'll be getting the skillet hot. All right, so I've got my salmon in my bowl, and I'm putting 1 egg, and I chopped up just a little bit of onion. This was actually a shallot that I had, and I don't want a lot of onion in there. So, in fact, this was not even the whole shallot. I just want a little taste of the onion. All right, and then I'm going to put in some panko breadcrumbs. These are Italian style, and it's just what I had. So I don't know how many. I'm just going to put maybe, I don't know, a 1/4 a cup. That might have been. And then I like to add dill to mine. So I think dill and salmon just go well together. So I'm just going to put maybe a 1/2 teaspoon to a teaspoon of dill. And then I'm just going to mix all that up. I'm also going to add a little salt. Let me get my little salt mill here. And I'm just going to put just a little sprinkle of salt. You could add pepper if you want to. I'm not going to on mine this time. And I'm just going to put olive oil in the bottom of my skillet, because if you kind of feel it is warm in the bottom, and just drizzle some olive oil in the bottom. I think I got it mixed well. It's hot. I can see it already smoking. So I'm just going to take like a good spoonful and just put it in and kind of make a little patty. Just kind of mashing it around to make it stay together. That was 2. I think I'm going to get 4. And these cook really easy, really quick. I mean, you talk about a quick meal. These cook quick because your salmon is already cooked. Oh, they smell good. All right, I'm just going to let them cook for just a little bit in my skillet. All righty, we're going to let them just cook here on this side for a minute. And the beauty of a good seasoned cast iron skillet things don't stick if you do it right. Remember to heat it first and then put your oil and then your whatever you're cooking. You just you don't want to put your food just cold right in the cold skillet. You want to heat it up first. Now, earlier today, we went out and picked collards, remember? So I have collards, and they are done, and they have cooked. They have cooked for just about 1 hour. So I tasted them, and they're so yummy. I did have to add just a little bit more salt because if you watched earlier, I put about a teaspoon or so of salt, and I added maybe another half to a teaspoon in there to get the right flavor. All right. Let's see if these are gonna be ready to flip. Oh, yes. So pretty. Perfectly brown. And you saw how quick that was. Like, I just put it in there and they're already brown and ready to flip. Y'all just got to see these. Can you see them? Look at how pretty and golden. Golden brown. That's what we're looking for. How quick was that? You know, open you a can of salmon. Put a few little ingredients in there. Breadcrumbs, egg, onions, dill, garlic powder, onion powder if you'd like. Some people put mayonnaise. Some people put a little bit of Dijon mustard. That'll probably all be good too, but I was just wanting to keep it simple. So, simple is my way at Grandma's Homeplace. And, you know, the whole beauty of Grandma's Homeplace is I love to grow my own food, and that's kind of what I'm about a lot, but also about maintaining my home. And, you know, we have to maintain our bodies too. It's a whole package deal. So eating good, healthy food, drinking adequate water, all these things help us just to enjoy life, enjoy the day, give God the glory. So that's what it's kind of about. And live a simple life. We don't have to live a life that's so stressful for us. Sometimes we do. We stress out way much more than we should. All right, these are already about ready. So I am going to go ahead and scoop up some of my collards. I'll drain off all the water I can so it doesn't make my salmon patties all wet. And this is all I'm having for dinner, collards and salmon patties. And I'll eat a lot of them. So pile my plate high. I do love collards. That's one of my favorite things. And you know what? I'm going to eat every one of the collards that I picked today. They cook down. I'm going to drain off some of that extra. They cooked down beautifully, but not too much. And as I say, these were just little young, tender leaves. There's my big old plate of collards. I'm drain off all that extra juice. Pot liquor, my daddy used to call it. All right, I'm going to turn off my skillet. It's steaming up pretty well. You know, I remember having salmon patties when I was a young girl. And shoot, I'm going to eat all of these because, I mean, that's a meal. All right, so dinner is served. Salmon patties, all nice and crispy. Collards, fresh out of the garden. So I hope you have a good dinner to enjoy too. And thank you for cooking with me. Thank you for going to the garden with me. And I hope that y'all have a really wonderful evening, a wonderful day if it's daytime. And we'll catch you on the next video.